If you haven't seen them, I'm going to just make them quickly. The first paper here is Daily Independent, and the main headlines here: Petroleum Industry Bill, National Assembly may stick to 3% oil profit for host communities, meaning that, well, in the bill, it's not necessarily considering for host communities to have more than 3% what you call derivation. And this is one of the things that has caused so many people to be agitating that. I mean, those who are also calling for regional control of resources or regional autonomy are simply saying that since they are host communities, they should be entitled to at least a good portion of the revenue generated from their communities or regions. And so this agitation or this call or demand or request may not necessarily be gaining any positive feedback, as even the Petroleum Industry Bill, National Assembly is still contemplating sticking to the 3% oil profit for host communities. Nothing. And if you look towards the left there, the first one at the square side on the left, you see ICC admits Yoruba nation's agitators petition against Buhari and Malami, and this is where it becomes also important that we have some discourse there. You know, anytime a regime or dispensation or administration by anyone, especially in Africa, you know, whenever they are so high-handed in their administration, it usually takes international courts like the ICC, International Criminal Court, to wait for them to finish, and then they face penalties for their crimes against humanity throughout their regime. But if you look towards the right, beneath where Osinbajo is standing in a handshake, you see 59 agencies divert over 300 billion naira. That's according to the Nigerian Senate. What's your reaction to this particular information as I move to the next paper? Nigeria moves to tackle terrorists with robots. To tackle terrorists with robots. Now the question is, who are the terrorists? Because oftentimes we've heard how the Nigerian state usually reacts to agitators, protesters and all that, and label them terrorists. But the terrorists are usually the ones that, even though they get them, they release them back to the society. So when you say Nigeria moves to tackle terrorists with robots, it becomes so confusing to tell who they mean or what they mean. Are they really sincere about what they're saying? The next paper is New Telegraph, and this one has something even more shocking. No gas to run power plants in Nigeria. And then you ask yourself, initially it used to be the excuse of, we don't have enough facilities, or when we have enough facilities, they claim it is the Kanji Dam that has problem, or other times it is collapse of the grid. Now it is no gas to run power plants. Unfortunately, it simply means that Nigeria still has a very long way to go to be able to come to even what many nations already passed in terms of their goals. When is Nigeria supposed to realize our goal to have 24/7 power or electricity supply? But that looks still very far. This day is the next paper, and it says APC PDP senators rally to pass e-transmission of election results. This sounds like a good news, and then if the citizens can quickly rise to this occasion, make sure that they are not only considering it, let all citizens, as a matter of forming stakeholders group, see into it what is the merit of all this e-transmission of election results. Is it not a way or means to also tamper with or manipulate the figures or outcomes or results? Let us all see to this. Let's all probe into what they mean by this and how do they intend to achieve it, so that everybody can also have a stake and decide. More so, it's also very important to let everyone be, especially Nigerians in diaspora, while they are now considering election bills at the Senate, can we also, since it's going to be electorally conducted, can we also figure a way by which Nigerians in diaspora will also be able to vote. Can this also accommodate diaspora voting? You know, if they are already considering e-transmission, means that it's no longer going to be by manual ballot papers and all. So e-transmission, e-voting, e-everything should also be able to allow for e-voting by Nigerians in diaspora. And then the next paper I have today is Bandits. This one says Bandits kidnap Kogi first-class monarch, demand 30 million naira ransom. And this also sounds interesting. I mean, we are asked not to call them bandits anymore, but businessmen. According to Gumi, and according to what's the name of this APC, the Igbo APC man in Lagos, Joe Igbokwe. Yes, bandits are only doing business. They are only kidnapping for business. It is only IPOBs that are criminals because they are drumming for war. But bandits are businessmen. They are only doing their business of kidnapping school children. Okay, so now businessmen have now kidnapped a Kogi first-class monarch and they have demanded 30 million naira ransom. What this simply implies is that the Kogi state governor, Mr. Tatata, I think this is the person this news item is most useful or relevant to. I mean, these businessmen, businessmen have observed with keen interest how Governor Tatata had been admitting, taking and welcoming celebrities and paying them seriously. So maybe these businessmen also want their own honorarium. So they decide to be doing all this. So Kogi State might be in for this in a long time, taking so many. They'll be taking so many guests like these businessmen, not bandits. Sorry, they are not bandits. Don't call them bandits, please. So the last paper for today is Tribune. And it says Nigeria needs $100 billion yearly for 30 years to close infrastructure deficit. Now, interpret that. $100 billion every year is how much? In Naira. Every year for 30 years before you can close infrastructure deficit. Imagine if all the money we needed, if all the money we had always gone into the right things, we will not have this deficit that we will need $100 billion every year to close for another 30. That is 3 decades to be able to close this. All right, 3 decades to be able to close this infrastructure, just infrastructure deficit. We haven't talked about the debt you already incurred without anything to show for them. Do you know how much trillions you need every year to service budget, not to repay, to service the budget? To service the debts, the loans you took, the debts you have incurred. Maybe if you spread that over years, maybe 100 years, to be able to, because we have not stopped borrowing, we're still borrowing. And then to be able to even cover infrastructure deficit, all the infrastructure needs we have, like to fix road, electricity. Don't forget, just today they said no gas to even power the power plant anymore. Okay, and so on and so forth. You see that, at the end of the day, Nigeria is in slavery. Maybe for another 100 years, 200 years, I don't know how many centuries, another millennium, you never know. Nigeria is still going to be in this kind of economic slavery. Borrowing, not only borrowing, also having deficits, and all this as a result of bad leadership and corruption. Nothing more. You saw let me take you back to the first paper I read today. Look down your right, just immediately at the bottom of Osinbajo, you see 59 agencies divert over 300 billion naira. We haven't even finished talking about the other woman at the port. Adiza, what's her name? Usman. How much did they say she stole? And then that's just an individual. You also look at how much Diziani Alisimaduke allegedly stole. By the time you calculate all of this thefts together, you notice that we're actually not supposed to be in debt. And we are not also supposed to be lacking infrastructure in this country. But individuals steal money and we still praise them. Oh, don't touch him, he's our own person. Don't touch that one, is our own person. And all of us are having to pay for it. See where we are. Gentlemen and ladies, those are the headlines. Just for you to, I'm just going to flash through them again for you to see in case you join late. and I close. PIB National Assembly may stick to 3% oil profits for host communities. This one says Nigeria moves to tackle terrorists with robots. What do they mean by terrorists? When they know the terrorists and they always send them back to the society, even with amnesty. No gas to run power plants in Nigeria. NDP HC bus. No gas. Once you have gas, grid will collapse. Once the grid doesn't is sustained, there will be no water in Kanji Dam, and so on and so forth. And then the next paper this is APC PDP senators move to pass e-transmission of election results. Now, I want us to start considering how we can look into this device they want to use, and how we can also make sure that we don't allow anything manipulative that can be manipulated inside it. We also want to make sure that, yes, by this kind of avenue, Nigerians in diaspora may also begin to mount pressure to say, include that diaspora voting is also possible. And then, bandits kidnap Kogi first class monarch. Now, this is for Governor Tatata in Kogi State. I mean, he has new guests. Celebrities are not the only people that want money or deserve money. Businessmen, Joe Igbokwe and Gumi have said we should stop calling them bandits. They are businessmen, that they are only doing business. This IPOB that is terrorists, okay? So, businessmen have kidnapped Kogi first class and they just want 30 million naira. We don't know how much Governor Tatata pays the celebrities that come visiting. So, businessmen now want 30 million naira. The last paper today is Tribune says Nigeria needs $100 billion every year for 30 years to cover infrastructure deficits. We are not even budgeted for future. We are only talking about the current deficits infrastructure. We are not talking about innovations that are coming up in the world that we also want to meet up with. Okay? We are only saying the present infrastructure need. You will need $100 billion, convert that to naira, every year for 30 years. We are not also we have also not talked about the debts you have also incurred and now you have to pay back. Gentlemen and ladies, the information are for you. Deal with them. Bye for now.